Hi there everybody, it's Chef Martin in the ThermoWorks Demo Kitchen, and today we're going to talk about how to roast a chicken. Now you may not have roasted a chicken before, and you may feel a little intimidated by it, but there's no need to be. Roast chicken is super simple, it's really easy to get right. All you need to do is watch those temperatures. We're going to walk you through every step of it to make sure you get it just right. What we want from a roasted chicken is crispy golden skin and juicy tender meat and lots of flavor. And really we can do that very simply with some salt, some pepper, and some oil. So let's take a look at that. First we're going to pat this chicken dry, get it in there in the nooks and crannies a little bit. If we have water on the skin of the chicken, that's going to keep it from getting crisp in the oven. So we're going to just kind of go all around this and get it as dry as we can with some paper towels. I've got some oil here. I'm just going to drizzle that on and kind of rub it in. We want a nice coat of oil on there. So we're just going to separate the skin from the breast here. Take 2 fingers and stick it up underneath there. Now just put a couple squirts of oil up in there under the skin. Smear it around like so and like so. So now we're going to apply some salt and pepper. You can season your chicken however you want, but a good roast chicken, if you cook it right, doesn't need much more than some salt and pepper. So we're going to just go ahead and get every kind of nook and cranny that we can here with the salt. Rub it on up close to the neck. I'm going to throw a little in there just to get some of the juices. Rub the outside of the legs. Go ahead and flip it over. We're going to put some black pepper on there too. Just going to kind of rub this in. Now some people like to truss their chicken, tying the legs together, but that's actually a thermally disadvantageous idea. The dark meat, which needs to cook to a higher temperature, takes longer to cook, and by bringing everything up like this, you're actually making it harder for the heat to get to the meat. You're taking this part of the meat that needs a higher temperature and you're squishing it against the rest of the chicken and getting it away from the heat. And that's actually not a good idea at all. So we're just gonna let our chicken hang open like this, kind of as nature intended, and just sit here like this. And this is gonna go in the oven right like this. So the breast's thickest part is about right here. I'm gonna measure that and go right in there like so. That should be in the deepest part of the breast, which will be the coolest while it's cooking. So now we're ready to go right into the oven. Now you may have heard that chicken needs to be cooked to 165 degrees Fahrenheit to be safe. And there's some truth to that. 165 is the instant kill-off temperature for the bacteria in chicken. But if you want a tastier chicken that isn't dried out, you can cook that to a lower temperature. And the reason that that is still safe is that bacterial kill-off is a function of both time and temperature, not just temperature. So cooking a chicken to 165 degrees gets you an instant kill off of those bacteria. Cooking it to 150 degrees though can achieve the same kind of bacterial kill off. It just takes longer to do. At 150 degrees, bacterial kill off times for a log 7 reduction, which is what we're after, is 2.7 minutes in the breast. And really a great tool for that really is the ChefAlarm. When it gets up to 150 degrees, you can reset the low alarm. As the carryover cooks, it's going to rise in temperature and then fall back towards 150 degrees. And what you want to do is start the timer when you reach 150, and when you reach 150 again, and make sure that was over 2.7 minutes. And that's not gonna be hard at all, because 2.7 minutes is a short time, and there's gonna be plenty of heat going around in that chicken to make sure the carryover is still continuing. All right, the alarm's going off on our chicken. Let's open it up and take a look. We're going to verify the temperature with the Thermapen to make sure that it really is as done as we think it is. Yep, it is done. If it wasn't done, we would put it back in for another couple minutes. Like I said, we're going to reset our high temp, or our low temp, to be 150 degrees. And we're going to start our timer. I'm going to clear the min-max, so that will give me a new minimum temperature if it goes back down. So I'm going to watch this and make sure this gets to 2 minutes and 42 seconds before that drops down below 150 again. As you can see, we've gone 3 minutes And we have not gone back below 152. We've gone up to 155. We haven't gone back down. So this is still actually rising in its carryover. This chicken is 100% safe to eat now. This is in a really good place. We've got, in the thigh meat, we've got 176, 180, 185. All those temperatures are perfect. We know that our chicken's at a perfect temperature. It reached 150 degrees and it didn't go back down below that for more than 2.7 minutes. It's gonna be juicy, it's gonna be really good. While that rests just a little bit more though, I'm gonna make a really simple gravy out of the drippings here. I'm going to pour the juices out of the pan here. We'll add those back in later. So I'm gonna put a little bit of butter in the pan. That's about a tablespoon. We're gonna sizzle this butter in the pan. Okay, I'm gonna add back the juices that we poured out of the pan. And I'm gonna add some water. You can use chicken stock. You can use a little bit of white wine for this. It doesn't really matter, but I'm just gonna add this kind of a little bit at a time to get a more even thickness. And just like that, you've got a simple gravy. Our chicken's had enough time to rest, so I'm gonna cut into it and see how it is. Slice some right off the front of the breast there. Just look at how juicy this breast is. There's actually juice dripping out the bottom of it. It's so succulent and tender, it's gonna be delicious. Monitoring the chicken's temperature, pulling it at 150 degrees, watching the rest on it to make sure we achieved a safe temperature has yielded a superbly tender chicken. Plus we got all these delicious drippings to make gravy out of from it. And here we have the makings of a fine meal. An easy pan sauce gravy was a great accompaniment to go with it. You can make this anytime. It takes about an hour and a half from start to finish. So even on a weeknight, if you've got a little bit more time, you could totally do this. If you have enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing and check out all our other videos. We've got some great tips and attempts for you. Until next time though, this is Chef Martin from ThermoWorks. Happy cooking.